Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. It's going to be a really quick one. I want to share with you 3 of my favorite tips to creating distressed looking items, buttons and brads. We can turn those shiny new things into vintage looking. Also how to fray edges on your materials, your laces, and create that nice looking postage stamp edge. These are digitals. But how to create that to make it look like real postage stamps. They are real, I guess. I want to say up front, sorry about my hands. This happened during the process of the alcohol inks. It's not that easy to wash off. On the bright side, it does give your fingernail polish a really cool antique bronze look. But no, what I want to say is that these tips are not my own. They are just tips I picked up over time and I use a lot and have made the creating process a lot easier, funner, quicker, and I wanted to share them with you. So here we go. Here I have some brads. Of course, brads are always very shiny when you get them. I also threw in some bulldog clips. Now I haven't tried those yet, so you'll get to see how that works. And I've thrown in some jewelry pieces like the clasp. Sometimes we use them as bookbinding, and I thought that could be fun to see if we can change the silver and gold, which is the most common. Sometimes we want something a little more antique looking. I also throwed in some colored brads to see what kind of reaction we get. But basically, I just put them all in this little sandwich bag, a short one. I like the short ones better. It seems like more gets on the actual product, whatever you're changing, instead of the bag. But I'm just going to use some alcohol ink. I've just pulled out teak wood. I also have espresso. I don't think it matters which you use. The last batch I did, I used the teak wood and I thought it was really pretty. So you just drop in a couple drops. Doesn't take very much. Seal your bag and move it around. I'm also going to try some buttons. I have some different color buttons here, white, some that actually have color, have the gold and different things. These are actually some pins that, you know, on the vintage old time buttons, they used to come with these little pins that kept the button on the card, and I thought we would try those. So again, I'm just going to take a few drops and move it around. Also, you can use staples, do staples this way. Tell you what I'm going to do on these bulldog clips. Hold them down like that. And be careful because your bag is still wet. Your pieces dry really quickly, but usually the bag stays for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and just move that around a little bit, and we'll move on to our second tip, and then we'll come back to this one. Okay, so I have a couple pieces of material here. Well, this is a lace, obviously. This is just material. You can see it's frayed a little bit from where I tore it. But when you want to have a lot of fray, you want it really grungy like this, more frayed edges like this. A quick way to do that is with a sanding block or a piece of sandpaper, and just run it over the edges. And see, it gives it more of a frayed look even on your laces, but on your material it works really great and really fast. See, I like how that really tears up your edge, gives it a better vintage look. It works on laces, fabric, anything. So let's go back and look at our buttons. We'll dump them out on a piece of paper. And you can see the difference that it made, especially on the white buttons. And if you let them just lay here for a second, they don't take long to dry. I was just getting eager to show you. And then I'm going to also throw out or dump out my brads here and the metal pieces. once the air hits them, it doesn't take very long for them to dry. See, these are already dry. You can tell the difference that it made on the pearl in the middle. I think those look really cool. And then I think this button was purple to begin with. Here was just a metal button. It was silver. It kind of gives it a bronzy look. These were probably white buttons. I love how it makes them look. These were little pink looking buttons. Aren't they cute? Now they look like antique buttons. But anyway, I think those turn out really neat, and it's a really quick way to make it look like vintage buttons. Okay, on our ornamental pieces, these are the jewelry clasp. You can definitely tell a difference. They're still shiny, but it's given more of a brassy color. Depending on the alcohol inks you use, it would probably give, you could really make it look antique. Here are the brads. It just colors those tops and gives them a more vintage feel. I really like that. I really think that looks cool. Here are some of the colored brads. They're not so bright anymore, and they've kind of got a rusty look to them. So I think that turned out good. And then, ooh, that's neat. Sorry about my fingertips. I reached into the bag way too soon. And then I threw in some jump rings too, because a lot of times jump rings are just, silver, and there was a couple silver and a couple gold. So I threw those in to give them a more bronzy look. And then here are the bulldog clips. Here's the yellow one. It looks really cool. It's another white one. I'll put them on a board and show pictures of before and after and get the full look of those. Okay, so we've frayed our edges, we have distressed our buttons, and my third and final tip, and again, I want to say these tips are not things I came up with. They're things I've learned that made it a little easier. This is a digital Studio Anglaire Etsy. And I printed these postage stamps. I do now, but at the time I didn't have deckled edge scissors, and I tore them. I did different things to give it that postage stamp edge, and I found the easiest thing was to take all the thread out of your sewing machine, the bobbin and the top, and just run your sewing machine around your stamps, and they tear really easy. Just like a postage stamp, and gives you that nice edge. And also, I mean, I didn't run it through because I'm probably going to keep this as one full piece. But if you wanted to leave some white on the edge, like when you get your stamps, they kind of have a white edge. You could not sew so close. But it's a little fiddly if your stamps aren't lined up on the page like this one wasn't. But, I mean, that's common. It's hard, I would think, to line up all the stamps because they're never the same size. So, but it's easy too, in that you don't have thread that you're messing with, so you just move it around as you need it to do your edges. Anyway, and then they just tear apart really easy, and I think that's a really neat tip for getting that postage stamp look without having to have the scissors. I guess it'd probably be easier to have scissors than a sewing machine. I'm not sure. But, there it is. There's an easy way to give the edge to your postage stamps. Okay, I know that was quick and easy, but I thought that those 3 tips might help you in making your goodies for your journals. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And Let me know any quick tips you use that help you do things in a quicker fashion, or make it look better, or to grunge things up, however you do things. Anyway, I will see you next time, guys. Thanks. Bye.